Yeah, so now we're going to look a little more home automation again. A previous video here showed this home automation using a PLC and then Node-RED. And now we're going to look at Home Assistant. And again, the PLC is there. And Home Assistant, they have an option to communicate with the PLC that I'm using, which is a Simatic S7. There's an older CPU. It's not the new TI portal stuff. It's the old Simatic. It's been running without any problems for 20 years now. As a matter of soon 24 years. But I have to upgrade it pretty soon, I suppose. It's getting old, but it works. Okay. Yeah, it can probably be here. It here. And what we have here was the Home Assistant. With a port, and it's the Lovelace. I don't know. Yeah, it works okay. So I kept some of it, and then I tried to do something. I think you had a map, and here is where I live. And then you had some energy. If you have an energy sensor, I of course I have the energy. I measured energy. I just had to make a template, wrap it in a template, and then I could display it here. But of course, here's a little English and a little Norwegian and so on, because the language here is, I would probably have to switch my PC to Norwegian language to have this properly viewed. But it's okay. I think probably the summary here. I don't know what kind of, if this the graph GS or whatever what you're using here. But that's okay. Of course, I don't have an average and things like that. I could probably make it if we want to. But I haven't looked at this into detail. The reason why I started to look at it is there was a tip from a colleague, basically, that this was an option. And the other reason is that I use this FlowFuse dashboard too for my HMI for automation, and that's probably going to be some kind of paid stuff at some point in time, and then I need an alternative. And this can be an alternative, and it's going to be fun to make this properly to replace what I have. Okay, so if you look here, you know what I used was the FlowFuse, and here I could have an iframe was offered here. And of course, then I could put in what my other HMI here too, so I could look at it here too. So basically now we just have the home assistance on my panels around in the house, and if I want, basically it's just if I need to do some settings, but that's not often I have to do any settings here. But of course, if I want to switch on my alarm and stuff like that, I would do it here. So the iframe, when I saw they had an iframe, that wasn't all and that bad. What is there to this one? Yeah, it's home. Here's my power, and here's my total power consumption, and so on. And here we had this entrance temperatures, my living room temperature, and outer temperature, and light intensity. Of course, he can't trend this, but you couldn't have the trend just like here, because I don't know. This is automatically changed from lux to watt per meter square meter, which is kind of nice. Maybe I should do it in the other one too. But you couldn't get this trend. That's kind of strange, you know, because this light intensity is just an analog value as the other ones, and of course should be trendable. But who cares? You know, this is a community made system, probably with a lot of IT people, but not a lot of, I don't know how good they are at human factors and how to present stuff and so on. But okay, it's okay. And here we have the lights, and you could use these the same icons. I think Node-RED uses the same icons. So you can switch it on and off. I should probably, because here just changing a color when you do something is not a proper way to present information. It also has to change shape. So all of these should have, when they're off, they should have, let's say, a line through them or something like that. So I should probably do something like that. So now it should change color and shape, because if that's just the way you present things to people, that you just can't switch color. It has to switch shape too. But of course, then you can make your own icons. I looked a little into it, but I didn't bother, because these are what are they called, material icons or whatever. I think I have, what are they called? With these icons, those are on GitHub. Yeah, you can use these icons, and they're okay, but they're lacking quite a bit when you do your own automation and stuff. So you would have to make some of your own, but then again, you probably couldn't use them in this system, because they're probably looking this up on the web or something. As long as you are not on the web, that's not going to be an option. You could zoom and so on. So this is okay. Of course, now I'm logged in as an administrator, so I can do edit. And okay. Done is färdig. Yeah, here's my second floor. That's what I did. Increase, decrease my light intensity. I think did I have one here that changed? I wonder if this one. No. I wonder if we had one that also changed shape in between on and off. Looked at this one, and then of course you could integrate here too. This is the Norwegian, let's say, spot pricing, or pricing for electric current, this is in kroners. So it's getting expensive here at the end of the day. We could have had a fixed price, up for fixed price here, for 50.5 kroner, 50 øre, it's called in Norwegian. But it's awfully difficult in Norway to know where the prices are jumping. In the area we are living, which is this NO3, it used to be affordable, but now they made some interconnections within the grid to other regions in Norway, or areas in Norway, and then the price jumped up. So it's going to be expensive. What you have to do here too is, which is the next project, is you have to produce your own electricity, because you can't live with a market like this, that's jumping up and down, and basically just people they are trying to make money off of it, as much money as possible. You can't be a hostage to a regime like that. So one way, I have to get some solar panels or something like that, and produce my own energy as much as I can. This cap on 0.5 kroners, that's paid by the Norwegian government. The market is just wild and crazy. Of course, a market has to be like this, but we can't live in a market like that. Let's say, as a private person with, let's say, a reasonable income, this is getting ridiculously expensive for energy, and we are dependent on electricity in Norway, also for heating. Anyways, here it's capped on 0.9 kroners for me. I could have had an agreement 0.5, but here in our area, NO3, we know over the year we don't know what's going to be the best option in the long run. If it's going to average out below 0.5 over the year or above 0.5, nobody knows. The so-called experts doesn't know either. They usually don't know much anyways. Yeah. And then the thing here is, of course, let's say that has to be the configuration, devices and services. And here is the Simatic S7 that's based on, I think it's Python. And there is a Python communication protocol or driver, a Python library that implements this communication with S7 that they are using too, but it works. Let's say, what do you do? Here, was it here? Entities. here I have 55. Where was it? It's quite a while, some time. No, that was the PLC. But just making a new one. Maybe I could do change name, one unit. I was probably not here. Was devices. Yeah, okay. 151. Okay. Let's look at them. That's that one. And here is a name, but just to see how to connect to the PLC was somewhere else. I think that's quite a some time since I use this stuff. It was possible. It should be pretty easy to add. Gonna do here. Wasn't it here? Choose what connections, entities, add here. I could add one, but I could add it. Yeah, okay. This one is probably good enough as anyone. So this is a data block. It's a special memory area in the Semantic PLC, and R is for real. And this is, let's say, an offset byte to where it is, and the name, and so on. You can make quite a bit, and here you can make some units and so on. We have the entities here from this one, automatic. So this is what I have, some commands, there's some binaries and some analogs, and then you have these helpers, which is where you had to make these templates wrappers, wasn't it? Yes, you probably here is probably yes. You had to make this wrappers to be able to use them in the energy stuff here. I think that was where that was, yes. Of course, I probably can't get back to, yes, I can get back to where I was. I haven't looked here too much. Whatever, but it's okay. When you work a little on it, you could probably do quite a lot here. When you look at let's say this configuration and devices, what you have, I have the hacks here, Home Assistant, community store, I think. That's where I had to get the Nord pool, which where I guess my pricing. Raspberry Pi, I just have that for testing. That's the Semantic. The rest of the stuff I think was in here. Of course, I had to add the hacks, and there's a lot of things you can get hold of here. I'm pretty confident that if I put a lot of effort in here, I'm going to be able to replace my FlowFuse dashboard when they want to get paid for it with this Home Assistant. Of course, again, like I say, of course, I can just switch to Python to make my interface here. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. There are also HMI systems that would work with the Semantic PLC, quite a few, but of course they have a license cost, and doing automation like this, the hardware and let's say programming software for PLCs are expensive enough. So if you have to start to pay for your interface, human machine interface too, it's going to be way too expensive. And then I would have to do something else, or automate this in some other way. Okay. So that was a quick one for this Home Assistant, home automation. I mixed those up. The Home Assistant, where I could integrate in an iframe my let's say FlowFuse interface too. But this is just something you can do for fun. It seems like this Home Assist is awful really powerful. You can do whatever you want there. It's going to take probably a lot of hours to do it, but you can get it done. And it seems like this is going to be community and open source, as far as I can see, which means it's not going to cost me that much. Okay. And then again, also this, the Home Assistant, of course, is made to make automation too. For instance, so you can control with scripting, control your house too, because you don't control your house with a program like this, then you would get units that's made for controlling your house. Let's say smart home units or things like that. Or like what I did is I use a PLC, but that's, let's say now 23 years ago that was implemented. I wouldn't do that today, or I would probably use a PLC, but I wouldn't use I/O and things like that. Let's say relays and so on. I would probably use smart sensors and just use the PLC as a reliable hub to do this automation. Because, like I said, a PLC is made to control industrial processes for a long time without errors, and that's what I would like for my house too. And PLCs, they tend to be expensive, but let's say if you just want a CPU and you use the smart sensor and actuators or whatever you have in your house, then you can communicate with those, then you just use the PLC CPU, which is then high quality hardware. And that kind of such a CPU, if you just automate a house, wouldn't be that expensive. Let's say when we look into Norwegian kroner, you just looked into I could get a pretty decent CPU for 5,000 Norwegian kroners, which the kroner is weak now, but let's say it's $500, or also around 500 euros for just a CPU. And then the rest is the hours, but my hours doesn't cost me anything, so this would be a lot of work, but it would be fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.